You're listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast, joined by Jamari Phillips and joined by James Phillips. How you guys doing right there?
We're doing good.
How would you so
good?
Not too bad. First and foremost, I got to say, man, watching you for the first time up close, the way you can shoot, the form on your shot is next level, and it's not even just the way running off screens, the way that you can pull up with the dribble. I got to ask, is that something you've always had? Is that something you've had to work on? Because it's smooth.
I mean, it's something I've always worked on, even since I was a little kid. My dad always had me in the gym, so we were just always getting up shots. So it was just something that just came natural now.
All right. So when you were working with little man, was there a point when you were working with him and you're like, he can just do some things that other kids out there can't do?
Yeah. I mean, Jamari, as far as shooting, Jamari's always kind of had it. It just kind of just came to him. I remember he was in third grade, and he would take the deepest shots.
Right.
in the beginning, I would cringe. But I had a friend that was a shooting guard at the University of Indiana, and he was like, "Nah, man, let it go. It's got good form to it. Just let him do it." So he's in third grade, chucking these 30-footers. You know, he's probably 1 for 15, but he's just jacking them up. But he make them. But I mean, probably by the time he hit fifth grade, I'd probably say he's the only kid I know that's probably made like 6 half-court buzzer beaters, with just excellent form, just daggers, boom. I was like,
it's like I'll never forget the Steve Kerr interview when he said the weirdest thing when he started coaching the Warriors with Steph was he's telling him initially, "Hey man, we can get a better shot than that." And his assistant comes over and said, "Dude, he's 15 to 20 on shots he told him not to take." And at that point, he's like, "Man, you just got to roll with it." At that point.
Right. That's kind of how we were. It was like, let Jamari do what he's doing. So he's been doing pretty good at it so far.
So Jamari, talk about like your whole game really, because when you look at it, just from watching you got a good basketball build, you got a pretty good handle, you got a great shot. I mean, you pretty much check off every box. What do you take pride in most in your game?
Most of my game, I feel like I take pride in my shooting ability. I feel like I'm able to knock down any shot from anywhere from the floor at any given time, any moment. And I feel like the most underrated thing about my game is my way to just conduct the floor, just like be a floor general and get my players going and just having them going on their runs instead of just me focusing on myself. Like I'm able to be a team player and get them going.
Do you kind of look at yourself as kind of that combo guard type that can get others involved, but at the same time you can get your shots as well?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I feel like that 100%.
Right. Now, all right, so let's talk a little bit about Arizona getting in the picture here because as you've probably noticed on Twitter, Arizona basketball fans follow recruiting like no other. And when you committed, it was obviously a massive, massive deal. What about Arizona, and we'll get to Tommy Lloyd, but what about Arizona made you want to become a Wildcat?
I mean, just the atmosphere being at the McHale Center when I came down on my official visit. They played Tennessee. And I mean, just the support from the fans and the loving from the fans that the players got and the coaches as well, the whole program. I mean, it was just something I felt like I needed to be around. And just watching how the coaches just go along with their players and just they have that connection and that bond. And the players are all like brothers. It's like a brotherhood there. I mean, it's just the way I fit in the offense as well. I feel like I can be very effective there and get the team to a natty or something like that. I mean, it was just all great. It was like unbelievable. That's the reason why I committed. It was like no other school for real.
All right. Now, from a father's perspective, what were you looking for? And at what point did you know that, man, I got a high D1 kid on my hands right here?
I don't know, man. From the start,
right?
As crazy as that sounds, people are like, "Oh, it's so hard to go D1. It's so hard to go D1." And I don't know if I feel that's necessarily true. I mean, my wife's tall. My kids are going to have the size for it, right? Like, they're going to be big enough. So that's not an issue. And then outside of that, it's just work. If you get in the gym and you work hard at it, you work on your craft. And I think we definitely work hard. Like, Jamari gets up 1,000 makes a day during the summer. So, I mean, with that type of work ethic, and Jamari's always going hard. Even when he was a little kid, like, we didn't mess with him really. I had other sons. I have 4 boys.
Right.
So I was focused on the older boys. Jamari just kind of be in the corner watching. No one's saying, no one's really talking to him. He's just watching. He's like mimicking everything I have his older brother do. And he's just going hard at it in the corner, just, and it's just like, okay, I see you over there. Right. And so I I just knew he had it. It was just, and then he listens. He was always a good listener, and he'd do what you asked him to do, and he'd do it to the best of his ability, and he'd do it hard. So I said, you're going to make it. You're going to be good. And then as 8th grade year going into high school, we bought him a Dr. Dish for the house.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a game changer. I said, with this thing here, you can get up 1,000 shots within an hour or so. I said, you're really going to be a great shooter by the time you leave high school. And, he's been a good shooter ever since. So,
all right, we got to talk about then growing up with bigger brothers in the house, obviously. What was that like? Because, again, that's your proving ground right there. I mean, you know it every single day. That's your proving ground. What was that like?
I mean, being in the house with my brother and knowing both of us are, like, very competitive, and we really go after it. So it's like every single time we're at the gym, it's a shootout or it's a competitive one-on-one, always ends in an argument or something about, like, who's doing what. And I mean, it gets hectic, but now that we're older, we're kind of more mature about it. But we definitely still have a lot of shootouts when I come home.
So did that fostered your competitive streak then?
Oh yeah, for sure. That gave me like competitive spirit. Just playing my brother like every day.
So what's an average day like for you then, as far as like, let's just say in the off season, then when you're working on your game, like, what's an average day like for you, your pops, as far as just getting your game going?
I'd say I'd probably have a 6 a.m. workout. Probably like 6 to 7:30. After that, I go lift weights, or I have another workout. I go lift weights or have another workout. Then I would come home. I'd have like a little rest break, and then I'd get on my Dr. Dish, make 1,000 shots, and then it's either I'm gonna have a later night workout that night in the evening, or I'm off for the day, depending on what I've done the first 2 workouts.
Yeah. Right. It's usually
3 to 4 workouts a day.
I don't know about that.
It is about 3 to 4 workouts. It's about 3 to 4 workouts.
So usually get some morning workout in, and depending on, you lift weights, he's got his strength and conditioning. So that's kind of like a every other day thing. So he only does it 2 or 3 times a week. But let's just say it's every other day. And so on the days he doesn't have to lift, right, he'll probably get 2 workouts in and then get 1,000 makes on the dish. And then on the days that he has strength, then he'll probably just do the Dr. Dish. And that's probably about it on those days.
Have you always been kind of wiry strong? Because, again, when you watch him out there, nobody's pushing you around. Like I said, when you walk out there, again, you're a well-put-together kid, but nobody's pushing you around. Have you always kind of had that, I'm thin, but at the same time, I'm also strong?
I mean, I feel like when I was younger, I used to do, like, a lot of weight stuff. Like, when I was really young, like, probably around, like, 10, like I was like really I started picking up weights, but then I kind of just put them down for a minute. I feel like ever since then I got back in the gym and just started lifting heavier. I feel like my strength has become way stronger, and that's the reason why I'm like really getting bumped around. Even though I'm thin, like I still actually have muscle strength.
He's not really thin though. I mean, Jamari's heavy. Jamari's 193, 195.
Heavy bone.
And so he looks, and it's crazy. He kind of looks thin, but you put him on a scale, it's 193, 195 pounds still, and you look at guards in the league and they're like 6'3", 6'4", 205. So like you're not far off. By the time he gets to Arizona for a year, I'm sure he's gonna be looking like 210.
Were there players growing up that you idolized, that you wanted to be like? You looked and you patterned your game after?
Oh my gosh. Kobe was my favorite player.
Right.
Kobe, I've grown up watching Kobe like my whole life. Kobe was my favorite player all the time. But now I'm starting to get the comparison of Damian Lillard, so I'm kind of trying to model my game after him since it's an NBA comparison they're having me as.
Right, for sure, no doubt. Now, when you were raising him, who's your favorite player growing up, James?
So, I mean, obviously I'm older, so the Jordan, but I was always a Lakers fan though, right? So, definitely when Kobe came out, big Kobe fan. I mean, Magic Johnson, like I said, I'm a Laker fan through and through. But then the time my kids were coming up was kind of the Kobe era. Right. And so they definitely watched a lot of Kobe. But on top of that, other people I liked was Ray Allen. I've always been into Reggie Miller. I've always been into the shooters. Right. All my boys can shoot the ball. So I've always been big into that. But Kobe, and then I try to get them to watch some Ray Allen because they don't really know who he is. they've kind of
Picture
seen
perfect jumper and the elevation.
Oh yeah, no, that elevation was sick. So but they didn't really see the young Ray Allen, right? Like I know him. I'm like, no, he was more than just throw him in the corner and just shoot three guy when he was first getting busy.
You're talking the Milwaukee Bucks, UConn Huskies, Ray Allen, right there.
Yeah, yeah, yep. So that's what I try to show him. I said, man, he's way better than you guys think. You guys don't give him the credit that he deserves.
Right. So when Tommy Lloyd took over, one of the first things he said was, "We're going to run an up and down style here," and I'm not just saying that because it sounds good. It's the best way to be able to win games. And he said, "We're going to get perimeter players that are going to be able to fit into that." And so obviously Jamari Phillips right there. What about Tommy Lloyd kind of sold you guys on becoming a Wildcat and his style of play?
I mean, the style of play is really just getting up the court fast. And I mean, I like playing fast. I like passing the ball up the court. And just if I see the man running up court, I'm just going to throw it ahead and make sure, like, he's going to get the ball. He feels involved. Like, I'm not going to just look the man off and just take it all the way down, turn the ball over or something like that. I mean, Tommy's a great coach. I like the way Tommy coaches. He's not too hard on his players, but, I mean, he gets on them from time to time. But I feel like him and his offense and how he's successful with things this season, I feel like I can go a long way with Tommy.
What, from a father's perspective, what attracted you to Tommy Lloyd?
It was kind of a longer recruiting process than most people think that it was. They were kind of in the picture for a while and kind of back and forth. We didn't really know if the Arizona thing was going to come to fruition in the beginning. But once Jack came to Modesto Christian and he went over clips of the offense and how they would use Jamari and, they were showing, clips like Ben Mathurin, Courtney Ramey, things of that nature. And they were like, to us, Jamari's not a shooting guard. He's combo. We're going to have him on ball. But, it's great. Like most people, it's great shooting ability. We're going to try to run him off some screens and get him open looks for shots as well. He can do either or. But it was fast-paced. And, Jamari just scored at the end of the day, right? So that fast-paced offense means there's more opportunities to score. Right? You're on a team, you guys got 40 possessions. But if you got a team that's going to get 80 possessions, that's more opportunity for him to get shots up. And I think if he's going to make an attempt to get to the next level playing in his system, is going to give him more opportunities to kind of showcase his talents and what he could do is better for him in the long run. And then the way they utilize the bigs there in the, the pick and roll where they go and they, set screens on the other bigs to allow the guards to get to the basket, things of that nature. I just, I look at it, this is the type of system, they're talking about. This type of system is for Jamari more so than anything else. And I think the Arizona system allows Jamari to be Jamari, right? He can come in there and be himself and play the way he likes to play instead of kind of being force fit into a system and maybe not like it so much.
The thing that I'll always remember about Tommy Lloyd is first year, and they're playing TCU in the round of 32. And Arizona's down 3 with about 8 seconds left, and everybody's looking around, and Tommy Lloyd just looks at Ben Mathurin with the ball, doesn't call a timeout, and said, "Go, do it." Rises up for a 3 and that to me was the ultimate – man, this guy's going to let his dudes play. And because, again, it'd be really easy. You guys have been around high-level hoop. It'd be really easy to call the timeout, figure something out, and he's like, no, we're just going to do it. And that's Ben Mathurin right there. So you can easily see, a Jamari Phillips in that type of role for sure.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what he, kind of sold us on. He's like, we think Jamari's a closer. That's what we want to use him for. We think he's the guy exactly you get the ball to when there's 10 seconds left on the clock and let Jamari do Jamari. And we need a guy that can do that for us, and we think he's the guy. So, that as a father, that sounds good to me.
Now, you mentioned Jack Murphy a little bit. What's he been like? Because Murph's a legend around these parts.
Oh, yeah.
Murph's been the man. I mean, I've been in contact with Murph for forever now. Me and Murph talk, I'd say, every day about just, like, recruiting different players, like getting DJs and Zoom and stuff like that. Me, him, and Carter are like really connected now, and we're just looking to just go recruit these other players. Me and Murph, great relationship. Murph is like one of the funniest dudes on the coaching staff I probably met.
Right,
like me and him built that connection over time. I love Murph. Murph gives me good feedback too when he watches my games and stuff.
Is there anybody in particular you're working on recruiting right now?
DJ Thomas, Zoom Diallo. I think we're working on Tyron Riley, Marcus Allen, and for all I know, that's really it.
Let's talk a little bit about your relationship with Carter Bryant. Once, kind of the worst kept secret in the world that he was a heavy U of A lean. When he announced you guys were going to be teammates together, just talk about kind of just your chemistry together on the court with Carter.
I mean, I've been knowing Carter for a year and a half now. He came U16's EYBL. He came over that year, and he actually came over to play with me. And so I'm actually happy he came over because now we're going to be going to the same college. We built this chemistry since last year. I mean, we've been knowing each other for a minute. We're always talking, trying to learn about each other, learn each other's spots, how we like to shoot, what spots we like to shoot it from, pick and roll situations, how to read it, what he wants to do. I can read if he wants to pop, or I can read if he wants to roll it. And so I feel like that's always a good thing. We built that chemistry, and I'm glad we built that chemistry because I feel like it's going to carry over to U of A and the McHill Center. I feel like we're just going to go on a great run with just me and Carter, just having that duo connection, as well as the other teammates on the floor with us.
Right. Now, watching your son, watching Carter out there, what's it like just watching how they play, how they interact with each other and everything?
I was telling someone else in the gym earlier that I think the relationship that Jamari and Carter has is real special. I think in this basketball world, a lot of times kids just kind of they play together, which is fine, but it's different when you have someone that wants to play with you, right? And that was the relationship Jamari and Carter had. And from the beginning of the 16U EYBL season, Deshaun said, Carter wanted to play with Jamari, and that was kind of oh. He's like, no, I think Jamari's got high IQ, and I like the way he plays, and I think we could do good together. And then have him come over, and, we had a lot of injuries and some other things that took place that year. But I think it was a fairly successful year with Jamari and Carter, playing together and learning each other. And I could tell they've built that friendship, and they truly want to play together. I'm like, I don't know, if everybody wants to. You kind of just –
it sounds cool to say a lot of the time, but you really don't find out until you're on the court together, right?
Right. And so to know that, that it started there with him wanting to come play with Jamari. He played a season with Jamari, and then he came back, you know, and so that's big. That's bad. He came back to play with you another year. So, he actually likes it, right? And then on top of that, now you guys are talking about going to college together, and then, he commits to go to the same college you. This is real. Right. And I think that's kind of rare to be honest. I think most kids just kind of, you play on the same team, it's whatever we play, that's it. But I think they've definitely built a real relationship, and they want to see each other successful on the floor, and they want to do it together. So that's pretty big, and it's heartwarming to know that that people like you, right? We all want to be liked,
right? For sure,
so
no doubt.
I think that, someone really actually likes me. They like the way I play, and with Jamari, I think the hard part of it is that he is a scorer, right? So you're playing next to a guy that's for the most part is going to jack up 16, 17 shots a game,
right? Not
everybody likes that guy, right?
For sure,
but it seems to be working, and Carter's fine with it, and so it's a good thing. I'm happy for them both.
All right, so a little bit off the court then. What are your passions? What do you like doing in your spare time?
Oh, my gosh. You want him to tell you?
Why don't you speak? You speak, and you'll have your dad speak. Yeah.
This is one thing. You want to tell him? It's one
Go
thing.
ahead.
All he does is play video games, man. On the computer. He's a whatever you want to call a PC guy.
Right.
That's it, man. This generation is something else. And every spare minute he gets, headphones on, locked in his room, on the video game. As a parent, it's a little concerning at times, especially when you're raising an athlete like, dude, we need to be outside. We need to be getting this work. But I mean, it's great because he puts the work in, and that's his downtime, right? I think I'm more concerned with the sleep pattern. I want to know he's in there getting some sleep, right? Now, you're not up all night, playing the video game, and then you got to get up at 6 a.m. to go to a workout. You're not ready for it. We go hard in the gym. A lot of running, a lot of conditioning built into these workouts. So, I want to make sure that he's getting the most out of it, and that, you know, you got to have your priorities in order. You know,
Right.
if you want to take basketball seriously, then you got to take it seriously. It's probably a little less PC time and a lot more basketball. And so, so far so good though.
A couple people asking right here, what kind of games you play?
Right now, last game I played was Warzone.
Okay, right on.
Yeah, Warzone.
Right. Now, academically, then, like, have you given it any thought what you want to major in at the next level?
Oh, business.
You're coming to the best spot.
Exactly. I'm trying to come and do like some type of real estate.
Very cool. Very cool.
He's got an interest in real estate, so we'll see.
All right. Guys, we can't thank you enough for this. We'd love to do it again. But again, Arizona fans are beyond ecstatic to have both of you in the fold and to be able to see you on the court coming up here soon, Jamari. You got anything you want to say to the U of A fans out there?
I love all you guys. Keep supporting us, and hope to see you guys soon at the McKill Center.
Yep, back to A.
Back to A.
Back to A, baby. You know what's up. My man. All right. That's Jamari Phillips. That's James Phillips. And we'll definitely be in touch again. Can't thank you guys enough. This was fantastic.
Yeah, all right. Appreciate you guys, man.
Appreciate you a lot.
You guys have been great.
Right. Okay. We'll be back with you tomorrow. You've been listening to the AZ Wildcats podcast.